Let's try to not get screwed over again because we need it. We cannot afford to lose any more points than we already have. So, let's go.
Mate, it was a great battle, especially on the last lap with Steve and Fowl. But you were there as well. You three were really going for
Oh,
it.
what happened? Right, we went into the pits. Me and Fal, we all had the same
Welcome
run rate,
along.
so the
I
pits
hate
were all the same
PlayStation.
tick.
They took away the party
It was so
feature,
confusing. But when you overshot the pit box, I thought
so
it
you
was
can't
Fowl.
make a party by
You went
yourself
into
in
my,
it
you went into my
anymore.
space.
So I
So I was
always
literally
go
going over the
this.
top. I was like screaming and shouting, going, "Foul, guess and Mrs. Pitbox!" And it's like, "No, it's not. It's about nuts."
Well, he pulled into my
So I
space, so I
basically
went
have to
past him
talk
and headed for
over
his
these
one. It's
people all the time, which isn't very
Oh, it's brilliant.
easy.
You got a
But
like a
yeah,
Discord, Andy? What?
Yeah, man. If you go to www.motiveracing.com, then you'll be able to access the Discord
basically
link.
last
Quite nicely,
time
really.
out,
It'll be in the top
there
right.
was lap traffic,
Yeah, bro.
and
Check it out,
I got taken out in the sprint race.
I think the Discord link still works.
So that wasn't
man.
good.
You're not
Also,
active on it?
The standings never
I
got
think it should be.
updated,
It's a permanent one.
and the inquiry I
It's
submitted
really
still
sad. I actually
hasn't
do know
been
the Discord link
processed,
off by
even
heart,
though
but
it's
I'll sound
been
like a
near
complete
enough
nothing
an
nerd if I
entire
actually
week.
say it. I sound like a right neek, so I better leave it.
I do graphic design, man. If you need help with like fucking
Oh,
content.
by the way, Andy, any estimate on
Yeah, I'll
when
make the
the
thumbnail.
standings are gonna get
I've got a
updated?
template. Standings, we'll get that done, champ, this week. I'll try and get it done this week. Just keep on me about it. I'll do it. We've got all the streams anyway, so don't worry. They will get done. Like, there's no risk of them not getting done. We've got all the streams there, so they will get done. Fear not. Right, guys, don't invite anyone else in because DJ Phil's still on his way, so he needs to get in. So he needs a space. Right, let's go.
The main man.
He's usually Mr. Reliable, but he's been not start the last few weeks.
He's usually sending invites.
He's usually here before it's even open. Right, let's fire up this stream.
At the minute, I have literally
Try
no
and slow
clue
that set up again, Steve.
as to what standings look like. But I've done my own napkin math, and I have an estimate. I'm reckoning it's tied at the top with me and Richie, but I'm ahead on the tiebreaker. So if we were to stay like this to the end, I would win on countback.
I was in the wrong car for the setup side.
Well, alright, I'm in the Nissan, mate.
I wasn't.
But I don't
That's no working.
really know.
I've said that a few times, a prick.
So which one were you using?
The Daytona.
Yeah. LMP Road America. Straight away.
Aye.
I don't have a setup
Yeah, you
for
feel
this
like
track,
the other
and I
one,
didn't
though.
make one
Yeah, Daytona.
because
I sent
no
that
practice for this week. Yeah.
Should have got these off of Andy, actually.
So
Oh, let me just shoot one out to everyone.
That's that sent, Steve.
I'm sure that
I'm
fucking
just
fucking
gonna
Nissan, like,
go for the road.
save that one. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
road map.
No.
Yeah, I'll go for this. Okay. So I don't think Andy's done.
Oh, I already got that in mind.
Yeah, everything's good. Everything is
I'll figure it out, brother.
should be.
Appreciate it, though.
Right, let's go.
Oh, and I have not done any fuel estimates
I've never noticed this, that
whatsoever.
the track's actually not Zhuhai in the thumbnail.
YouTube might have glitched and not changed the thumbnail. My stream did that. Come on. No. There. Just opening up my fuel calculator. No, Windows Defender, my fuel calculator is not a virus. Please, calm down.
Hey, Mutt, man, you've been playing that golf game, haven't you?
Aye, mate, it's quite good. It's a good game for nothing. Like, I'll enjoy that.
Yeah, bro. Hit me up sometime, man. I like to play that game too.
Aye, mate. Well, what we do, mate, we do competitions. There's 4 of us that are older boys and 4 younger lads, eh? So we go in the same course. Just the competitions, really good. Steve's the maestro, Grandad Steve. He's a fucking golfer, right?
When it's not them fucking stupid ones.
Bro, I can't handle them.
I try like the 420 hold my beer courses. I mean, they're goofy courses. They're not hard. They make them simple. Like you can get like a fucking hole in one from like 780 feet out.
Well, I'll go pop the link in the general chat, guys, for the stream.
And then I've got my own course called I Fluffed Up Nut. It's a proper course, except for hole number 10 is a little difficult. Chaos, I think. Carol is angry at me, bro.
Yep, okay. That's a bit of an oversteer.
Carol Baskin is angry. That's on. We gotta get up.
Yeah. I've been noticing that
My laugh about
very minimal amount of practice I've had today, the build up to this, is that there's just a bit of oversteer on the brakes, which really did. Granted, this was happening at Road America too, but it was
Bro, a lot of the OGs
at
over
the
here have
least.
CMC. What up, CMC?
But yeah. Let's see, what is the time gonna be? It's pole position compare.
Welcome along to Zhuhai International Circuit then, everybody. We're here for the 6th round of the LMP2
And again, we
League
did
here at
a big
Motive for the
turn
6th
one,
season
so
that we had
we'll
on the
probably
LMP2 and
improve
Project Cars 2 here on the
by a
PlayStation 4
lot.
and PlayStation 5. We've got 14 drivers on the track in the lobby at the moment. I think we're waiting on a couple more to jump in, but we should hopefully have close to, if not
Yeah,
a full
because there we
grid here
go, we're an
tonight.
entire
Got
set
Richie
down
sat on
for
provisional pole at the
second.
moment, setting the, or blazing the trail, should I say, attempt clear of Champ, and lots of very fast drivers in this lobby, so we're looking to hopefully have an exciting and maybe a few, an exciting race with maybe a few thrills and spills here and there. We've got all but 2 cars out on the track right now. 12 of the 14 drivers are currently on lap times. James Gould's coming out of the pits now. CMC, the only driver sat in the pits in this relatively early stage in the session. We're 6 minutes into the session at the moment, and currently we're seeing 10 times coming in, and only 0.2 of a second separating the top 3 drivers, Richie, Champ, and Chaos. Actual setting the pace here as you see Chaos coming up towards the line. Jody just gone past us there. With his last lap goes up into what was P1, and now Chaos has gone and dethroned him there. So the time's coming in thick and fast here. Very close at the top of this leaderboard. 0.4 separating the top 4. Champ coming up towards the line. The championship leader, the runaway championship leader so far this season. Can he go pole? He does so by 0.7 of a second. Lovely lap there from Champ. Going to get to the top of the board once again. So Chaos in the pits. We've got Hijolish just coming out on another lap here. He's just starting another out. Oh my goodness, he's got it all wrong there coming through turn 1. Not what he needed or would have wanted there. Richie up towards the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. But got a bit of a toe as he came down the start finish straight, not to any avail.
Yeah, okay, we've ran.
Akazod, aka Zod, running in a high position at the moment, jumping in tonight as a late reserve. Good to see.
Actually, I've not
really
practiced the pit
seems to be on the
entry
pace
yet,
at the
so
moment.
I
Bernard
can
Steve
probably
also
come
doing a
around
good
and
job
do
just behind
that.
him on the track. See Steve, one of our regulars in the touring cars on a Friday night, one of the championship contenders along with her Falguest. Oh, as he gets a little bit of a slide there coming out of turn 1. just about gets it together. But good to see Steve jumping into the LMP2s. He's got good in these LMP2s over the last couple of weeks, so he's finding his feet. Obviously, races in the front wheel drive,
Anyways,
McGann and the Clio's in a few leagues.
that was
here and
actually
there,
pretty
but,
good.
LMPs seems to have really taken to them like duck to water. We got the Mutt-Nuts here in 7th place, also another regular in the touring cars, and he's not too far for Steve at this point. 2.5 seconds off of the ultimate pace set by Champ. Jay there in 8th place. Not really where we expect to see Jay. He's usually up there thereabouts. He's a little way off on the leader at the moment, so he's got a little work to do in this session. Pack Piston sat in 9th, 3.5 seconds off the pace. And there's Nicky, team pile up towards the line, stays in P10 for the time being. Nicky's a quick guy in these LMP2s, and we know he's got the pedigree in these faster cars here in Relative. He's been in here for a little while now. He's got his team piled up, his teamate X-Mart backing him up tonight as well. Come to X-Mart in a moment. We've got Sebas out there at the moment in 11th place in this qualifying leaderboard. So he's got a little way to make up in terms of the overall lap times at this point. 9 seconds off of the pace. I don't think that's a representative out there. We know he's got a lot more in his locker than that. CMC in P12 had a really strong round last week.
That's
at
probably
Suzuka.
not
It's
how
called
you spell
Taquito on this game, but let's be real, Suzuka just without
but it's
hairpin,
probably close enough.
and with a flat out right hander instead of a chicane to finish the lap. But
So,
CMC was very quick last week at Suzuka. He'll be looking to try and replicate that type of form, maybe even go one better on Champ in the second race, the feature race. He won the sprint race last week after taking pole position, so CMC is one to look out for, as we say.
Don't forget the circumstances behind that, Andy.
Yeah, I will hasten to add that Champ got taken out in the sprint race by another driver who's here tonight, the Mutt-Nuts. But the Mutt-Nuts, it was an accident, it wasn't intentional. We know that. That's obviously, these things happen. But yeah, Champ maybe should have won that sprint race. He got a bit unlucky there. X-Mart is still running in 14th, still to get to settle up. But Cuzza69 has, or Cuzzounce69 should I say, maybe has done a time good enough for P13 there, as he's just getting a little bit of stop there on the apex, but he'll be trying to get himself in, get those tyres warmed up and get some good lap times here at the end of this session. 5 minutes still to go, still time to put times on the board here. X-Mart, the only driver still yet to do a lap here in this session, and he's picked up a one place grid penalty, potentially for cutting the pit exit line. I imagine that's probably what it is, and that's usually the case when it comes to these grid penalties in qualifying. So X-Mart, whatever he does in this session, will drop one place at the end of it. Oh, big slide there from X-Mart. X-Mart, obviously a proven winner here at Motive, is a former champion of the touring car division, back when we used to run touring cars on a Sunday night. So he's got definitely the credentials to win championships. He's quick in these LMP2s as well. We saw that at Bathurst earlier this season. Had some very strong pace, but unfortunately then got taken out by a back marker about halfway through the feature race. So he will definitely hope that that doesn't happen tonight. So that's your 14 drivers out on track. We're still waiting DJ Phil to jump in. Hopefully Phil will be in before we get going for the session. If not, then that'll obviously be a real shame for him. Yeah, currently X-Mart the only man to get to set lap time here in this one, and Champ leads the way by 0.2 of a second. And I'm so tempted. My brain's telling me to say Akazod, but I feel like I should say AKA. I'm just going to call him Akazod. It's easier. Rolls off the tongue better. Akazod coming up towards the line. Let's see if he can improve. He's 0.3 off the Champ. Has he got anything left in the locker? Doesn't show it on this particular lap. Stays in P2 for now. Chaos Actual in the pit, so he obviously feels like he can't go quicker than he's currently going at the moment. Fulex just jumped into the session, which means that DJ Phil won't be able to get in. Fulex joined us, obviously I didn't send him an invite as a reserve, so he's gone in, so that means that we have now got a full grid of 15 cars. Obviously myself taking up a spot as I'm commentating in the public chat.
Approach.
So unfortunately 15 drivers is the maximum that we're going to have for this one. But yeah, got Hijoli out there in 4th place right now, jumped in late as a reserve tonight, emoted on the blue emoji, said yes, I want to be a part of this, I want to test my skills against some of the best LMP2 races on the PlayStation 4 and 5, and currently he's right up there in the thick of it. He only needs to find about a 10th or 2 to get himself into 3rd head of Chaos Actual. But lots of drivers in the pits, maybe making some final adjustments to the setups, possibly siphoning their fuel down to the absolute minimum, hoping to get the lightest possible car and get the absolute max out of them in the closing stage of his session. Sebas has got himself into P6, so he's made some hay while the sun shines here in the closing stages of this qualifying session. Everyone except Champ, Akazod, Cuzza69 and Fulek is out on the track. As we see, X-Mart's done a time good enough for 8th place, so he's got himself within 2 seconds of champ. But this looks like a very, very strong field here tonight. Some very quick drivers, and the standard in these LMP2s here at Zhuhai is off the scale, I've got to say. It was really great to see Champ has got Akazod pretty close to him here in this one, so he's definitely not going to have it easy over the course of tonight. We know that last week CMC took the fight to him. Akazod seems to be on it right now, and we still haven't really seen the best from CMC tonight either.
CMC took the fight as I was leading the sprint race by like 15 seconds and won the feature by half a minute.
Yeah, and on his way down the pit lane. He will be coming out for another couple of runs towards the end of this session as he just somebody just appeared out of nowhere in the background there behind him, but yeah, not really sure what was going on there, if I'm honest with you. See what's going on out of this last corner. X-Mark's coming up towards the line. What can he do? Former champion here of the touring cars. Actually took his maiden touring car championship. It was only touring car championship in He actually took that here at this very track. It came down to the last race of the season. His X-Mark gets a little bit loose onto the curb there, spins it round and returns straight back to the pits. That may be his session done. He's going to be hard pushed to get himself out on the track or rather in time to start another lap here. As we see the provisional pole sitter Champ also losing it, coming through the middle sector. He'll get round in time to do another lap, won't be able to get two in. He's now restricted to just one more run here to try and defend what is provisional pole here in this session. We've got Akazod coming up towards the final couple of corners. I think he's only going to get one more run and it's going to be close, but I think this is going to be the lap that he's about to start here will be his final one of the session. So Akazod's going to get one chance to try and find those 0.3 of a second and get himself onto the top spot. Sebas, X-Mark, JM Gould, Nicky all in the pits.
So
they're not going to improve certainly from where they are at the moment. We've got Chaos there, out there in third place. Obviously there's only 0.7 of a second off the Champ, so he's there or thereabouts. He could maybe get himself on the front line here. Jody's up towards the line. I think it's an outlap for him. I think he only just left the pits earlier, well, back a couple of minutes ago, so he's on his final one of the session. So we've got a car in the background coming up towards the line. Who is that? Let's try and figure that out. Don't know, to be honest. Couldn't tell you. Oh, it's no, I don't know. It was Chaos Actual. He's coming out of the last corner. Didn't improve on that last lap. Oh, big slide there. Who turns 1 and 2, and that's going to put play to his chances of improving here in this session. Kevy in the comments saying hi. Hello, Kevy. Welcome along. So it looks like for all the marbles, it's going to be Champ here on pole position. Jolie is still out there and was realistically the only real contender to Champ's pole position. Richie only a second off of Champ's time up towards the line. He improved, but not by enough. 0.2 he improved by on that last lap. Actually, we'll get one more lap in, so he's on his final run right now as he's coming into turn 1. So Richie will get another bite of the cherry here. He's only a couple of tenths off of Chaos Actual Rugby, sat in third in this session. Champ is coming in towards the final couple of corners. Can the provisional pole to extend his gap here at the top of this leaderboard as he comes out onto the start finish straight and up towards the line? What is it going to be for the championship leader? Can he extend his gap here at the top?
Oh.
No, he can't. Stays obviously in P1. This is not going to
Yeah,
P1,
I blew that.
but he is.
I was up by 2/10.
Improves that time there. Akazod in the pits. So
threw
is
that
Chaos
away.
Actual. We've got here Jody coming into the
Not good.
hits
Not
here.
good.
So
Not
he's done
good.
for the session. Clearly feels it's not an improvement. And he comes into the box there. Richie's going to be
Oh well,
pretty much
still
the
pole
last driver out
position.
there. I think Granad
Bonus
Steve's coming in
point.
towards the final couple of corners, and Fudek
Puts us
do that.
visually in the lead of the
starting 14th in the
championship.
session is on his final run as well.
On merit.
As he's got
Not
few corners.
count
he's
back
actually
technicalities.
done for the session for sure. So Granad Steve will be the next over the line, I think, as he's coming in towards the final corner. Currently P7 in this session is Granad Steve. Can he get ahead of Sebas? Maybe trouble Richie there in P5 up towards the line. Granad Steve comes. No, he doesn't. Stays in P7. Fought out a great finish to yesterday's feature race in the touring cars and managed to come out on top of Falgas. It was a great race there yesterday with C. If Richie comes over the line, what can he do? He can't improve. Stays in P5. So that is going to be that then, I think, for the qualifying session. It's going to be Champ on pole. Akazod in second, 0.3 of adrift. Chaos Actual 7/10 behind the champ, the qualifying leader Champ in third place with Hijoli fourth. Then we've got Richie and Sebas on the third row, followed by Grandad C and X-Mark, Cracked Piston and JM Crawl completing the top 10. Then the Nuts in 11th, Nicky 12, and CMC and Fulek and Cuz of 69 completing the classification here for the sprint race.
Well, I've given myself a big enough buffer. It should be. Just load the race setup.
I think the crowd has got a big one-up on Zod. He's the crowd favorite.
I think everybody wants to see Champ toppled, to be fair. Not because they got anything against Champ, but just because he's championship leader.
Oh,
And has got
I know
the
a
lead
few
by
people
mile.
who don't want me to lose. I'll tell you that much for sure.
Who doesn't want you to lose?
His mum.
I mean, I guess you're not wrong in that sense. She probably wouldn't. But, like,
Probably wouldn't want to see you lose, no.
all the friends I have, you know, at school and everything, like, they want to see
What,
me
to
win.
the
I mean,
two
they
people
clown
that are
on
watching
me.
the stream?
Yeah,
To be
man.
fair, like,
You talking about the 2 people that you know?
one thing that I accept is that most of the people watching this stream are going to be the drivers watching it afterwards. You know, it's probably, I mean, JR's in the comments. Big shout out JR, obviously, always chimes in and says hello on these streams and always keeps me company in the comments. But yeah, one thing that I've kind of accepted recently is that most people watching the streams are basically the drivers watching it back afterwards. But you know, if that gives the guys who are out on chat right now incentive to put on a show, then that's could only be a good thing. As we got JR says, dude's mic's super low. Oh yeah, no, don't worry, JR. I'm the only commentator. You can just hear the game chat in the background. That's what you can hear. Don't worry. As long as you can hear my mic, that's the main thing. Obviously, because I'm commentating. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. 15 cars out on the track here for the 6th round of the LMP2s here at Motive on Project Cars 2 here on the PlayStation 4 and 5. As we're about to sync up here, hopefully everybody's readied up. Hopefully nobody's missed the start on that 2-minute countdown. So Champ on the right hand side of your screen, lights on, signifying intent here as we're about to go racing here at Zhuhai. And it's lights out and away we go. And a good start there from the second car, I think it was, from Richie. He didn't jump the start though, as he's getting very close up and personal there with Champ. Up towards turn 1, Richie's going to try and get this done up into the first corner, but they're side by side, and oh, Champ just squeezes through and holds on to the lead there. Richie has to get out of it. Has got Akazot behind him, but Richie getting ahead of Akazot straight away. Is that we all clean through the first couple of corners? No, we're not. No, we're not. Looks as though we've got an incident there. Chaos Actual and Hijoli coming together. Crack Piston, looked like he might have got caught up a little bit in that one, but Champ leads ahead of Richie.
Yep.
Akazov has in the back of Richie, trying to get himself back up into P2 if he can. You've got Sevas there in 4th with the Mustangs. X-Mark's going around the outside of a Granad Steed. These two side by side. Oh, so close there. They were inches away from each other as X-Mark just has to leave the door open. Oh, Steed loses on the inside of the grass. And he's going to lose out there to JM Gould. JM Gould gets himself up into 7th place there. So Granad Steed isn't out a couple of positions. CMC just behind there in 9th place. Not having the race that he had last time out at Suzuka. We've got Fulek 10th, then Cousin 69, Nicky down in 12th place. Not the best first lap stay for Nicky. And we've got Crack Piston in 13th place with Chaos Actual and Hijoli running at the back after such a strong qualifying. What a disaster this first lap has been for Hijoli. That could not have gone much worse for him. But Champ leads by just under a second here to Akazon at the moment. Richie's keeping tabs with these guys, and the Mustangs had a very strong first lap to this race, but Sebas is really hassling him here. Let's run on board with Sebas and see what he's seeing. Can he try and get this around the Mustangs here? It looks like the Mustangs have held on for the time being, coming through this final sector of the lap. Sebas is going to try and get a good run here. Coming out to the start finish, but he gets a big slide off the curve there, and that might leave him vulnerable to X-Mart. No, X-Mart's a little bit too far back, and X-Mart himself has lost out to JM Gould there. So JM Gould loses himself up into 6th place, and Steve's now trying to get involved in this as well, but it's too far back, and X-Mark takes his line. But oh, got a bit wide there, a bit of angle. Oh no, Steve's lost it! Steve's lost it under the gravel. He gets some really big slide there, huge oversteer. That's given AFTMC up into 8th place. Fulek follows through, and Granad Steve's going to drop down and feel like a stone here. Cousin 69 just swerving out of the way to avoid him, and Nicky also. Granad Steve way down the field as Nicky's trying to put the pressure on Cousin 69. These two swapping positions. And Nicky's going to try and go around the outside there, and that's a brilliant move from Nicky as Cousin 69 got a little bit out of shape. And Steve follows him through there up into 11th spot. Cousin 69 having a little bit of a twitch there in P12, but Champ leads by 1.7 seconds at the moment over Akazod. And Richie's still pretty close onto the back of Akazod, and Akazod has got her back ahead of Richie. Obviously we saw Richie jumping Akazod off the line. Akazod's obviously got back ahead of him since then up into 2nd place, and maybe he can now try and chase after Champ leading this race. The Mutt's there in 4th, so that's completing the lead train of 5 cars at the moment, 4 seconds separating the top 5. So it's reasonably close here, up the sharp end. X-Mart's cleared JM Gould. He's got about a second back to him at the moment. Maybe X-Mart has the pace to try and chase down the leaders here, running in 6th place at the moment. As we said, the former two.
Akazot has a penalty, just so you know.
Akazot apparently has a penalty for what I assume is going to be jumping the start there, which is a bit of a head scratcher because he didn't get the best of start. But he's got a penalty by the looks of it. So we've got CMC running there. Oh no! Who's that in the background? I think that might have been Stee again. Stee in the wall on the exit of the final turn. Let's get it. I hope he gets going back again. He does, but he's going to lose out there to Pat Piston and to Cutter 69 and Granad Stee down to 14th place. It's gone from bad to worse for Stee, but we've got Sebas still on the back of the Nuts here. These two battling over 4th place, and these two dropping off the back of Richie a little bit. Richie and Nomad stand falling off of Akazov, but putting away from the Nuts and Sebas. Exmar only a couple of seconds behind the Nuts and Sebas here. But we're going to stick with this battle as we're seeing Sebas. Well, it's fallen off a bit of the Nuts so far on this lap actually.
And that hairpin.
James Bull running in 7th place has got CMC still
like to do that.
Pretty close
Also,
on him.
by
Nicky's
the
cleared
way,
through
I
and Chaos Actual, so these two still running pretty close. Let's see what Chaos Actual was up to. Obviously, he was up there at the sharp end in the qualifying. He's looking to the inside now. Can he complete this move? Onto the brakes they come. I think he's going to get that done. Oh no, he gets stopped on the apex there. Had a bit of a twitch, had a bit of a moment as he wiggled there, getting the car rotated into the corner, and that's given through the position back up into P10 as you see, well, goes ever so wide there. And in fact, he's back up ahead of him there, so Budek having a bit of a wobble, and that's given Torres actually the lead, the P10 once again there. In the meantime, the Nuts running in 4th place just ahead of Sebas into turn 1. Still no change there. Sebas has been trying to force the Nuts into a mistake over these last couple of laps, but to no avail. The Nuts has just been holding firm and doing a good consistent job. Granad Stedo, the Nuts, his friend, obviously running him down in P13. These two both racing the touring cars on a Friday night. Granad Steed having a struggle so far. He was doing a decent job in the qualifying, but so far in the race, it's not gone to plan for him. CMC still on the back of J.M. Gruhl at this point. CMC trying to make his way back through after not the best of qualifying for his standards. We saw him, he was obviously very much in the hunt last week at Suzuka, took the win in the sprint race and came second in the feature. But so far in this one, here at Zhuhai, it's just not been on the same level as what we saw last time out. So in the meantime, we've got Coas Actual pulling up onto the back of Nicky a little bit, although he's got not the best of runs coming through that right-hander there, and that's given Nicky a bit of breathing space in that 9th place. Richie though, trying to get himself back up into 2nd place here after, as we said before, has got a penalty from the race director. Don't know if it's track limits or for a jump start, but he's currently
it's 1 second, so it was for track limits.
Track limits, yeah, track limits. Champ there just confirming it's a 1 second penalty, so it'd be track limits. But Akazov here has got just about a second here to Richie as they're coming up towards turn 1. So Akazov reasonably comfortable at this point. We've got the Nuts there running in 4th. Has got about 3 seconds back to Sebas. Sebas is falling back into the clutches of Exmar, and Exmar really looking to try and get himself into the top 5 if he can. Not been a bad showing for Exmar since obviously not the best of qualifying, but you know, since then he's just got his head back together again, and he's very close on the back of Sebas here for this top 5 spot. Only about 4 or 5 seconds off for a podium, but that could be a stretch too far. He wants to try and negotiate Sebas before anything else, but not a bad showing from Exmar so far in this one. He's on course for some very good points, but he'll be looking to try and get himself a little bit further up if he can, as he's now going to try and capitalise on Sebas here. Sebas not getting a good run at all out of that right-hander, and did he back out of it a little bit there to that Exmar crew? Flash the lights from Exmar. Akazov also, sorry, not Akazov, Sebas even. So there, Exmar up into 5th place. Oh, bit of a twitch. Is he going to hold on to that one? Just about keep onto it for the next left-hander. But Sebas is going to try and come back in here in that slipstream. Another flash from Exmar, obviously thanking him there for moving out of the way when he had that slowdown through the previous corner. Sebas not able to get back ahead of Exmar for the time being. Exmar completes that move. Sebas stuck back into the slipstream once again, up towards the final few corners of the lap, as we see Nicky has got ahead of CMC up into 8th place there, so nicely done from Nicky. Still watching this battle between Exmar and Sebas though, as they come down the start-finish straight. 4/10 between these two. Sebas, I think it's got to be too far back to make the move into turn 1. I think that Exmar's going to be alright for that one. Akazov on the back of Richie. Richie's got himself back up into P2. These two trading places, but Richie, the former champion of these LMP2s here at Motive, has always gone strong in these cars regardless. He's also the former champion of the GT3s on a Saturday night as well. This man is such a versatile racer. He's clicking all of the faster cars here on project cars. He's also the championship contender in the GTEs. As we see there, that's Akazov going very deep into that corner, and Richie gets a position straight back. I thought Akazov managed to pull the move up there on Richie, but Richie managed to cut him back beautifully and take the position immediately back off of him. But Richie, former champion in the GT3s, LMP2s here at Motive. He's dual category champion, and he's also a contender this season in the GTEs on a Sunday night. So he is a man who's got a lot of talent in a lot of categories here on Project Cars, and is all across the board a very, very strong racer indeed. These two coming up on a bit of traffic by the looks of it, I think. As they've just negotiated some traffic in the background there. That would appear to be 69 there just behind, as he's now letting Sebas through, as well as Xmart. So Sebas has got back ahead of Xmart there. That's big news. Sebas ahead of Xmart, and the Nuts has lost out to these two as well. So the Nuts must have made a mistake on that lap, because he's now down to P6. So Sebas and Xmart both getting ahead, and Xmart losing out to Sebas. Richie's still ahead of Akazod, second and third places. He's got a reasonable cushion to him at the moment on this lap.
Here's the thing.
Nicky got ahead of CMC earlier on. Carlos actually has also followed Nicky through ahead of CMC. So Carlos actually up into 9th place.
Compared to what
J.M.
you would
running in
normally
7th.
have.
Next up he'll be next up on Nicky's hit list, I'm sure, as Nicky's trying to bring himself up further up this order in this race.
I think it's just a
very
matter
confident
of
coming
trying
into
to
turn one
take
now, I've got to say. He didn't, it appears to be
that
struggling
should
from a bit of
fix it.
understeer,
Also,
from what I can see from the trackside view. Not easy to really tell unless you're on board, but to me it looks like he's not got the best of turning.
Get up to
You see Nicky getting very close there on the brakes, but now he's left himself open to Carlos Actual, as he is looking to try and get the cut back on Nicky here, but Nicky's doing the fence to the inside and also trying to distract J.M. through the mirrors if he can. J.M. taking a defensive line onto the brakes into this right-hand hairpin, as you see Nicky just kicking up a bit of a grass there in the background, and that might give Carlos Actual a sniff around the outside here. Nicky once again just holding onto his line and not bowing down to any pressure here, and Carlos Actual tucking in for the time being. Good racing here from these boys. You see Richie must have made a mistake there. I don't know what's happened to Richie, but he's dropped well off at the back of Akazod. He's now 12 seconds off the lead of champ. He's 6 seconds behind the man currently sat in P2. So Richie's had a moment there somewhere out there on the track. He's still got a couple of seconds back to the battle between Sebas and Xmart, but that is not what Richie would have needed at all. As CMC's into the pits, so has CMC got damage on that car? Potentially some damage there has really affected CMC. He's sat in the box at the moment, so we'll see how that one goes. But that's gone really peaked on there for CMC. Champ still leads by 6 seconds. We've had a retirement from the race. Who have we lost?
3 engine damage.
Who
Okay.
have we lost?
You know what I said about snowballing? I think that might just start to
Crack
happen.
Briston is out of the race. Crack Briston retiring from the race here on lap 8. But that's a real shame there, obviously, for him.
I'm gonna start short-shifting.
He lost. But
Now, did you take a break just smoke crack or what?
we heard he might be off for a smoke. So, but X-Part's got himself back up into 4th place here ahead of Sebas. So these two continuing to swap positions. Been a good little battle between these two. We didn't see what happened there as we were watching Richie dropping back into the clutch of these two. He must have been going around the corner as that move happened there.
So
X-Mart
yeah,
up
I'm
into 4th place nonetheless.
up the
We're
radiator
looking to try and
notch
get
for
himself onto
next
the podium
race.
here. Be a good result for Xmart if he can get himself into P3. He's a very strong racer in these LMP2s. We saw him earlier this season, was taking the fight to champ at Bathurst. We know he's got the pace to win races here. I don't think he's taken a win so far this season though. We'll be looking to try and make that happen. You see somebody in the background. Sebas going off. Oh my goodness, Sebas.
And I'll have
I
you
think he
know
must
I
have
got
tapped the
taken
wheel
out
a bit
of
there. If he kept
Bathurst
that out of the
as
wall,
well.
he's an absolute genius. But he got very out of shape out of the final corner, got all over that curve, and that's dropped him out of the battle with Xmart. He's now 4 seconds behind him. So that's given Xmart pretty much the ability to just focus on what's ahead of him with Richie. He doesn't have to worry too much about the rearview mirrors. Sebas team radio there saying that he's got a bit of damage on the suspension, so that will be affecting the drivability a little bit, getting the car turned in. So he'll probably be suffering from a bit of understeer in the final part of this race. Any other damage to that, or is it just the suspension?
6 in the back, so we'll try to be cautious in the last.
16% damage on the rear, so Sebas is probably his target now has got to be to hold on from the Mutts Nuts, who is 9 seconds down the road from him. It's going to be a bit of a challenge here, but we've got, well, how many laps have we got? We've got basically, I think
3 to
laps
go.
or 12 laps, boys, I forgot.
There's 3 laps to go, Andy.
12 laps, yeah, 3 laps to go, thanks. So 3 laps to go, 9 seconds with a bit of damage. Sebas has got to
You'd think
basically
it'd
lap
be
within
basic
2.5
math,
seconds a lap of the Mutts Nuts'
apparently
pace
not.
if he wants to hold on to this 5th place. So it's doable, it's not impossible, potentially Sebas might be able to hold on for a top 5 spot. That would be damage limitation, to say the least. But Richie's still running in a final podium spot. X-Mark definitely reeling in.
Yeah,
Having
4
said that
engine
though,
damage.
last time around, Richie was 2/10 quicker than X-Mark, so it took a bit of time back there on that last lap. Richie responding to the pressure that X-Mark's serving up to him in the closing laps of this race. Looking at the fuel there, X-Mark's got 9 litres of fuel. Hopefully that gets him home. Akazad has got
The
only
thing is
7
about
litres
Chaos,
of
you gotta
fuel.
respect him, but he's also on performance-enhancing drugs.
Chaos apparently we're hearing is on some PEDs, so let's hope that he's not actually
He's on the roids.
he's on the steroids apparently as he comes into the pits. So that he's just coming in for a little injection. There we go. Right. Oh, okay. Now he's off. No, not off yet. No, they're still doing it. They're just trying to find.
How
the
have
vein.
I
They can't
blown
find
that?
it. Oh, no!
my
Champ's
God.
lost out. Champ's lost out. Akazad's into the lead. Oh my goodness! What happened to Champ?
Oh, not Champ. And the crowd leader, Zod, takes it.
Yeah, that time it was actually my fault. I had to spin on my own.
Apparently Champ has just lost it on his own there with 2 laps left to go in this race. Akazad obviously has got the penalty. 1 second penalty the last time we heard. Don't think that's changed. I think the situation is still the same. So Champ
Yeah, it is still the
needs to
same.
get within 1 second. Yeah, Champ just confirming on the team radio there that Akazad's still only got a 1 second penalty, so that means he has to get within that 1 second window if he wants to win this race. Akazad now in the box seat here, definitely in control of his own fate at this point. Pardon me, that was a hiccup, but Champ now jumping off the back of him over the course of this lap so far. Gap almost 2 seconds, although that's come down, coming through the corners a little bit.
Do you think
Richie
Champ
back
is going
up
to be
there.
able to catch Akazad?
Oh, it's going to be difficult. I think all he needs to do though is get within a second. He doesn't need to overtake him, so it's doable. Look, X-Mart there is running in 4th place. He's currently 3 seconds behind Richie at this point. He's got work to do as X-Mart. I don't think it's going to happen for him.
Okay,
Doesn't
this
look
is
like
going
the
to be
PEDs
lucky
have been
if I
helping
still
Chaos
win this
at all.
race.
No, to be fair, the PEDs don't really last very long. I mean, it depends what PED you're taking. And the roids will obviously keep your strength up for some time, but I mean, I don't know.
I think the word is that he's on the trend.
Well, let's hope not. I mean, it's clearly not doing him any favours anyway, but we got Akazad. He's got the speed, just not the consistency. That's the only problem. The consistency is a bit wanting. We got
They say
Akazad.
he's got a big heart. Now we know why.
Akazad here on the final lap of the race has got 8 tenths to Champ. Champ's got himself in that 1 second window. That's what he needs here to take this win. Champ needs to just be within that 1 second. He doesn't need to overtake Akazad. Akazad keeping him at arm's length at the moment. Seems like through the corners, Champ's got the pace. Akazad is quicker down the straights. Champ's losing out massively down the straights. So Akazad, if he can get a good run through the last part of the track, which is the fastest part of the track, is the last part, then he could be on for a
That's who
win
I've
here.
got
Here we
my
go.
money on is Akazad.
Yeah, he currently is obviously in the box seat here, but he has got that penalty. But Champ needs to try and combat that dirty air and get himself within a second. It's not easy to follow within a second here in these LMP2s. They are high downforce cars. We lose a lot of downforce in the toe, but we saw the Akazad going wide coming to that
Great
previous
check,
corner there.
Nicky, man.
Here
Fucking
in the
hell.
teammate there from the Mutts Nuts. Apparently Nicky there having a bit of a to-do with the Mutts Nuts, but Akazad has only got 4 tenths back to Champ. Champ's really got the gap down here. Is Akazad having a bit of a moment there? Champ is all over the back of him, and Champ just needs to sit exactly where he is at this point. He doesn't need to push. He doesn't need to force Akazad into a mistake. He just needs to sit exactly where he is. 2 corners left to go. This flat out left, followed by the right. Final corner we come. Akazad out onto the start-finish straight. Keeps it within the track limits there. Foot to the floor, but it's going to be Champ taking the win, I think. Akazad over the line to take the win on the track, but Champ takes the win on the classification there. Champ managing to put himself within that 1 second barrier. Great win there from Champ. Akazad pushed him all the way and ultimately took the win on the track, but didn't get the win overall. Richie takes the final podium spot. X-Mart with a late charge there. A 4th place finish. A very solid finish for X-Mart. I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with that, all things being equal. But Sebas over the line to take 5th place. A big flash of the lights. Well done, Sebas. You held on to that very nicely. The Mutts Nuts and JM Grill behind, not too far behind. The Mutts Nuts must have had a bit of a sketchy end to that race because he seems to have dropped back quite a bit. So he comes out of the last corner up towards the line. The Mutts Nuts is going to finish this one in P6. A flash of the lights there from the Mutts Nuts. JM Grill comes over, or will come over in 7th. That's a lap car behind the Mutts Nuts. That would be the lap car of Hijoli there. But there is JM Grill over the line to finish the race. Grandesty almost got James Wood at the end there, just came up short there. Grandesty, a decent recovery from him up into 8th after what can only be described as a nightmare at the start. Fulek in towards the last corner. It's going to be a 9th place here for Fulek, which would be some solid points there for him. Nicky in the background. Oh no, Nicky's out of fuel. Nicky's out of fuel there on the final lap of the race. Nicky's parked up by the track there on the grass. I wonder why it stopped. So Nicky is out of this one here. That will probably give Koos the top 10 spot. No, it won't. No, it won't give him the top 10 spot. It won't give him the top 10 spot because Koos is a lap down. So he will finish in 11th. Nicky classified in 10th. That is that then for the sprint race here for round 6 of the LMP2s here in Motive. Race 1 of the evening, the sprint race here at Zhuhai. Champ takes the win ahead of Akazov. Richie completing the podium. X-Mark 4th, Sebas 5th. And Mutz Nuts finishes in 6th with JM Gould 7th, Grandesty in 8th, Fulek 9th, Nicky 10th. And it's Koos actually
so the perfect weekend
classified in 11th. Hijoli in 12th, had the pace, but got a bit unlucky at the start. Cousin 69, CMC, and that's it. Stay tuned for the feature race qualifying session, guys. Back in a moment's time. There'll be
I did not deserve to win.
I a bit of a scuffle one, but you did it.
I thought Nicky brake checked me, but he'd run out of fuel.
You only beat Zod because you're racist, bro.
Right, boys, we're going to do 18 laps to this one. Mandatory pit stop, and quali will be 10 minutes instead of 15.
How do you get it on, Steve?
Back to back.
In the beginning.
It wasn't me, but I wish I did.
I'd like to thank my sponsors.
This is interesting. I want to see 24-3, even with the raid. Okay. That's an interesting metric.
Remember, don't
Hey,
you
we'll
Red,
note
fuck you.
Yeah, I was about to say it, dude. I was trying to I was giggling before I even said it. I was like, you fucking idiot.
And it's not roids, it's human growth hormone.
Tell him, little man. Tell him to shut the fuck up.
That's my crew chief.
Dick face.
There we go.
Tell him that he sucks at Fortnite.
Fuel says 46 liters.
Hey, Dick
18.
face, you suck at Fortnite.
18 laps. Should be fairly simple. And I'm actually just gonna give us a little bit more fuel. Because there's more in it, no doubt. And as for how I fixed the rear end instability at low speeds,
Stand set up, chow.
I have no idea. He actually got out of the way. That's pretty nice of him. He was under no obligation to do that. Hopefully if we take a tighter line like that, and then prioritize getting the power down, should be better. Okay. That's annoying, but I guess that's fine. Also, all right. Yep. Okay. Oh, that's your problem. No brake ducts at all. That'll do it. How much did I put on its keto? None. Okay. How much did I put on?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Zhuhai International Circuit.
Okay.
We're here for the second qualifying session of the evening. We just had the sprint race a few moments ago. We're back on for the second one. We saw a great battle for the lead in the first race between Akazod and Champ. Those two went down to the wire in their scrap for the lead. Ended up being Champ taking the win due to Akazod's penalty, which I'm sure Akazod will be a bit frustrated about. He'll be looking to try and right those wrongs. Originally sat on pole position here for this session, but these two have got a new man on the horizon in the shape of X Mark, sat in third. Say again? No, it's not that man. X Mark sat in third place. He's only a half second off of the original pole time being set by Akazod at the moment. We've got Kawasaki running in fourth in this qualifying session, literally just over a second off the pole time on a 24.5. He was there or thereabouts, challenging for the podiums in the sprint race. We've got Rhett Dynasty having a good qualifying. He'll be hoping he doesn't have to start to the race that he had in the first race, where he had an absolute nightmare opening couple of laps. You alright? Why are you looking at me like that? What are you shocked about? Why are you shocked? What are you shocked about? Yeah, it's not commentating. I'm not racing. I'm not commentating, I'm racing, that's why. No, sorry, I just say I'm not commentating. I am commentating. I'm commentating, not racing.
Sometimes I
So Akazov
question
currently
what's
top
going
of this
on.
leaderboard at
This
the moment by
guy's
10th
life.
second over champ. X-Mark sat in the pits. He looks like he's not going to improve on his P3 unless he gets out there pretty sharpish. I was
Okay, so we'll get 2 laps at this, 2 goes.
For 4th place, 24-1 from him. Richie there in 5th, Granasty 6th. We've got Jolie in P7 at the moment in this session. Jay and Glory in 8th on a 125.1, 1.7 off for the pace. And Nuts in 9th place. Had a solid race in the first race for the first part. Was up there pretty much for the first few laps, and then it kind of all went wrong for him. He'll be hoping he can keep it consistent this time around, as he's still sat in 9th row in this session. Nicky in P10 is 3 seconds off for the pole time on a 26.4.
Okay, that's pretty good.
3 left there in 11th place. He's a little way off for the fastest time. He hasn't put in a representative time so far in this session. Sebas, we saw up the sharp end in the sprint race, will definitely be improving from P12. DJ Phil and CMC. So they're definitely not going to improve whilst sat in there. But anyway. Final minute of this qualifying session right now.
We were up 6 tenths. It looks
What are
good.
you doing? It's a bit weird, man. Oh, we'll see Champ there going past us from the session. 23 dead there from him. Absolutely great lap there from Champ. Goes nearly 4
God,
tenths
that
clear of
would really
Akazov. We
need
just
to be
see
a
somebody losing it
22
on the
all the
exit of
way.
turn 1. So 30 seconds left on the clock at the moment. Kawasaki out there, Hijoli, Granite Steel out there. Richie obviously on a lap. Akazov, what can he do? Can he go back on top of this leaderboard? He's just coming through the first corner, so he's on one more lap here at the end of this session. Let's see what he can put on the board. Can he go one better and dethrone Champ at the top of that leaderboard? Champ obviously took the win in the first race due to Akazov's penalty. He'll be looking to try and follow that up and make it a double tonight. Champ, the championship leader, looking to set to take the LMP2 title this season. If he continues on in the same vein of form as he has been so far this season. Granasty's improved a little bit to a 24.6. He's coming in towards the middle part of the lap now, towards the in towards the final sector pretty soon. Oh, somebody lost it in the background there. Somebody got a well out of shape air out of the middle sector.
Oh, so Akazov's disconnected or something.
Like there. Akazov's disconnected. Oh no. That has just completely ruined the battle that we were typing up there between Champ and Akazov. Akazov is out of this qualifying session and won't be able to start the race. It's too late to jump in now, so that's unfortunate there obviously for him. So we're going to be 13 cars signing up for the start of this race. Champ on pole ahead of Coas Actual, Richie in 3rd with X-Mark 4th. Jody in 5th place with Gamma Steel alongside him on the 3rd row. Then we got Sebas and the Nuts, followed by JM Gruhl, Nicky completing the top 10. It's going to be Fulek, DJ Phil and CMC rounding out the grid for the feature race. Sorry?
Not too bad, but I actually think should be a lot simpler this time around. Not a whole lot to worry about.
Yeah.
Now, please save. Who for existing setup. Thank you.
Who's going to win? But he's in 10. No, I don't know. I don't know who's going to win. But Fu's unlikely to win because he's in 10. He might win.
I might win.
You're not going to win, Nana. You're not racing.
I?
Well, no. You know you're not. Neither am I. I'm just sat here using the controls. I'm not steering the wheel, I'm not using my pedals. I'm just watching, I'm just commentating. I'm just a commentator, I don't know how to drive. No, I do know how to drive. I'm not bad at driving, to be fair. You alright? What's wrong? Oh, you poor thing. Is it still bruised? So here we go then, guys, we're about to go racing here for the feature race. A flash of lights there from Champ, signifying his intent to get on with this one. We've got our H in the car says saying lol. As here we go, lights out and away we go. And Champ immediately going to try and cover off Kawasaki, who's got the lead here up towards turn 1. So Kawasaki getting jump on Champ. Champ slightly bogged down there as he got off the line. Richie there in third with X-Mark behind. X-Mark gets a big fit. Oh no, there's chaos in the first corner. Absolute carnage there coming through the first part of this race. And X-Mark's down to 13th and last place in this race. DJ Phil bings it all by himself on the exit of the first corner. So X-Mark back up into 12th place. Champ leads ahead of Kawasaki, although he's managed to get the lead back off of Kawasaki coming through the second and third corners there. Hey, Jody there in third with Richie fourth. There's JM Gould. Fulek running just ahead of Granastee. Granestee's trying to hold on here ahead of the Mutts Nuts as these two side by side. And Granestee's going to try and go around the outside there of the Mutts Nuts, but the Mutts Nuts is still there on the inside, still side by side. The Mutts Nuts gets a better run coming through the hairpin. Granastee will have the inside for the next corner and got a slightly better run down this straight though. But Granastee has the slipstream off of Fulek in front, but the Mutts Nuts there.
Actually, hold up.
The Mutts Nuts who had the slipstream.
It's getting darker.
Granastee at the inside. Oh, Granastee lost it again! Oh, again on the first lap of the race here in these LMP2s. He just cannot catch a break here. Granastee struggling to get the tyres warmed up. He's down to P11 here in the first lap of this race. X-Mark running in 10th has actually escaped without too much damage, I think. Looking at that car, it doesn't look to be in too bad nick, considering that he took a wallop in turn 1. Champ leads ahead of Chaos Actual, Hijoni third, Richie fourth. JM Gould running in 5th place at the moment. Could put a gap back to Fulek with Nicky all over the back of Fulek at the moment. There's the Mutts Nuts, X-Mark, CMC, Granastee, DJ Phil and Sebas at the back of the field as these two are battling it out. DJ Phil and Sebas. Sebas not having a first lap to remember here in this feature race, that is for sure. The Champ leading by a second and a half. Chaos Actual keeping tabs with him, not allowing him to completely run off in these early stages of the race. There's Chaos, there's Hijoni running in third place, Richie in fourth. 3 seconds off the lead, keeping the pressure here on Hijoni for the podium spot. JM Gould there, 5 seconds off for the back of the lead of Champ. He's within a couple of seconds of Richie at this point. X-Mark back up into P6 after a very difficult start for this race. Mandatory pit stop for this race though, so the drivers can come and get that done early and minimise the damage done to their race if they had an incident in the first lap. Granastee there running in 7th place. Just ahead of CMC, a couple of seconds between those two, or about a second even, separating those at the moment. Fulek there, a couple of seconds behind CMC running in 9th place. Nicky's fallen back into the touch with DJ Phil here. DJ Phil's looking to make a move here, and Nicky very wide coming through the hairpin. Does he get that stopped? Is he going to be able to take that corner properly there? He's going to hold it on the outside, but Nicky and DJ Phil side by side, and DJ Phil gets the run up into 10th place. Nicky, I think, might have some damage on that car. That seems to be limping around a little bit. So another difficult race here for Nicky in these LMP2s here at Motive on Project Cars 2. We've got Sebas in the pits. Sebas has had to come in and get his damage repaired. He's had a bit of a difficult first couple of laps, so that's not going to plan in any way, shape or form for Sebas. As Champ leads by 1.7 seconds ahead of Chaos Actual coming in towards turn 1. Richie there in third has got 8 tenths back to Jody running in 4th place. JM Gould competing in the top 5. Top 4 breaking away a bit. Well, it's really Champ breaking away from Chaos Actual and a bit of a gap back to Richie and Hijoli. And then the rest of them are just nowhere to be seen right now. X-Mart and CMC both in the pits at the end of lap 2. Pit window is any time, so these drivers can come in at any point during the race and get their pit stop done out of the way. And X-Mart and CMC are exercising that right straight away here. But Champ's got a 2-second lead over Chaos Actual and seems to have this under control. With the unfortunate disconnection of Akazod, it means that Champ has been given an easy start to this race, but hopefully Chaos Actual can take this fight to him over the course of it. X-Mart, CMC and Nicky all in the pits. In fact, X-Mart's pretty much done his pit stop and is already off and on his way once again. His mandatory stuff is done now, X-Mart. So
the Mutts Nuts is going slowly.
Really pushing this one. The Mutts Nuts is off the track here. He's a lap down on the leaders, so hopefully he doesn't get involved in the with the leaders here. But that was just Champ, Chaos, Richie and Hijoli making their way through, putting a lap there on the Mutts Nuts. I'm sure that the Mutts Nuts won't cause any problems. He's a clean driver, he's always fair. one of the always a contender in the touring cars on a Friday night. Just skimming the walls a little bit on the inside of the track. Hopefully that's not going to be too much of an issue. So yeah, he's just letting everyone pass, and that is what we want to see. Obviously, you want to see no argy-bargy out there, but Champ's gap to Chaos Actual come down a little bit over the course of this lap. Look at this, 1.7 seconds now between these two. It was nearly 2
I had to
seconds
check up
before.
massively as to not hit him, so that's why.
What happened, Champ?
I had to check up massively so I didn't hit the guy because he was going slowly. So that's nuts.
Champ there saying the team over. The reason why he lost a bit of time to Chaos and why Chaos was able to close in on that lap was because he had to get out of it a little bit as he was lapping the nuts. He was maybe a little bit wary, possibly getting flashbacks from last week in the sprint race at Suzuka, and wanted to make sure
swallow that guy up.
he wasn't going to have any problems. We're in the team radio there saying to Chaos Actual to go and grab Champ, go get him, go take the win off of him here in this feature race. Only 1.8 between these two. If anybody's going to do it here, it's going to be Chaos Actual. Reasonable pace here to match Champ. Richie running in third place in the final podium spot. Has got Hijoli breathing down his neck. A second between those two. Hijoli could be on for a podium here in this feature race if he continues driving like he is. Great drive so far from him. One man we've got to watch also is X-Mark. He's already been into the pits to make his stop, and he's free to just get the hammer down and push as much as he wants. Reasonably long pit stop here at Zhuhai. Not massively long, but about 35 seconds I think it will cost you in the pits. So X-Mark definitely not out of range for a podium here if he really pushes in this race. But that would be a bit of a stretch. Maybe top 5 is going to be where he's aiming for by the end of this one. But certainly not out of the question for him to get some very good points here. Richie is ahead of Chaos, and Chaos has made a mistake. Chaos has lost out there to Richie and to Hijoli. Chaos down to 4th place. Didn't see what happened there. He must have made a mistake there coming through the middle sector, and he's lost out there. He's dropped 2 positions, and that's given Champ a big gap here at the front. He's now got major breathing space. Pardon me, that was a burp. But Champ there has very much got this race under control. The winner in the sprint race, quite fortuitously, with Akasov's penalty, has once again got the lead here and looking to try and extend his championship gap. He's the runaway championship leader in this LMP2 series is Champ, and looking to once again absolutely take the ball by the horns. Richie there in second, with Jody running in the final podium spot. There is Chaos Actual on the back of Jody. What can he do? What can he recover after that little mistake earlier on in this lap? We've got Sebas pulling up onto the back of Nicky here. These two battling it out over 11th spot. Run and pull for Sebas and see what he's seeing as he's looking to the inside, trying to distract Nicky a little bit in the mirrors. Nicky not taking the bait, taking his normal racing line, not being perturbed or in any way phased by that red car in his rearview mirror. Is good to see. We've got Chaos Actual coming into the pits here at the end of lap 6, so he's coming in, getting that done and out of the way. Obviously, damage limitation here. If he comes into the pits, gets himself together, takes a breather, that might help him in his charge to possibly get on the podium here in this race. He's off and away once again. Big tires mode there as he floors the throttle out of the pit box. But he should re-emerge. I think he might just slot in ahead of Foulet. It's going to be close. Yeah, I think he'll just get there. Good acceleration. These LMP2 cars means that generally when you see someone coming down the pits, you can often outpace them into turn 1. So there is Chaos Actual coming out ahead of Foulet into some clean air, can now push as much as his will dictates. As we got Van Steve, it looks like he's coming into the pits here at the end of lap 6. So he's pulling the trigger. That releases X-Mart into some clean air, who's 50 seconds off for the race leader. Could be in a net 4th or 5th here. Could X-Mart. We'll have to see once all is said and done. He's really got the hammer down over these laps out of the pits. Obviously that first lap calamity that he had ended up getting wiped out into turn 1. Since then he's responded pretty well. The Nuts is still in the race. Who have we lost?
Around.
Al H in the comments saying,
but
well, that's an understatement there. We're down to 12 runners here in this race. Who have we
it
lost?
Might just be worth it, so
Can't work out who we've lost. Was it a disconnection? Because it wasn't any of the back markers. Oh, Grandma Steve's out of the race. Grandma Steve would... Oh, did he get disqualified for the pits? I have a feeling he got disqualified in the pits, you know. I don't know why, I have a funny feeling he got disqualified in the pits because he was running in a decent position. He wasn't having too bad of a race. and he's just suddenly disappeared off the radar out of nowhere.
Okay,
So I think
yeah, we're
LC
pitting
might
then.
have got done
Box,
there for
box,
speeding in the
box.
pits. Whilst we watch that though, Richie's closed the gap to Champ here at the front. Only just under a second between these two. I don't know if Champ made a mistake there coming through the first sector. I think he must have done. It's the gap, pretty much nothing between these two. These two old rivals. These two obviously fought out the LMP1 championship at Rubbings Racing pretty much over 2 years ago now, it must be, since then. That was the first LMP series that I ever took part in or commentated on in sim racing, and Champ obviously came out on top in that one. Champ a much quicker driver now than he was then as well, but Richie, to be fair, has made his improvements. Champ into the pits here at the end of lap 7. And Richie
Engine blown.
assumes the race lead. Oh no, what's happened?
I didn't put the setup right. And my engine blown.
Sebas didn't do the radiator, his engine's blown up, so Sebas is out of the race. The Nuts is also out of the race here. We're down to 10 drivers here in this feature race. Absolute chaos here.
Okay, it's Nicky's lap traffic. And we have come out in a bit of a bubble of clear air here, so I think that was the right choice.
JR said in the comments, Champione. Obviously Fulek into the pits.
So I don't know what the average is looking like in terms of fuel consumption.
Richie leads this race by just under 3 seconds at the moment over here, Jolie. JM Gore running in the final podium spot. Champ, having done his pit stop, emerges 20 seconds behind Richie, so he's within that pit window of Richie. His real comparison is with Chaos Actual and Xmart, who have both been into the pits. Chaos Actual a long way ahead of Xmart, but Xmart, to be fair, sticking to the task, was only 40 seconds off the leader Richie, so see how that pans out. But it looks like the pit lane actually quite short here at Zhuhai.
Not that it's just short, it's also
But Champ, the
the
net
track
race
is
leader,
very
definitely the
fast.
one with the ascendancy here in this race. 10 drivers still going here for round 6 of the LMP2, the feature race. The sprint race was absolute non-stop action. The feature has been a little bit less so over the last few laps. The gap's just kind of strung out a little bit here. We're about half distance in this feature race. Hopefully once the pit stops come out, we'll see a bit more unpredictability, but Champ's bringing the gap down to Richie, only 18 seconds behind him now. So it's looking like it's going to be almost a guaranteed lead for Champ once Richie comes in. Not really ebbing and flowing, it's kind of only going one way at the moment, it's going down. That gap is coming down between Richie and Champ, and I can't see what Richie's going to throw at Champ at this point. Champ flashing his lights here at the back marker. It's Nicky there just in front of Champ, and Nicky gets well out of the way for Champ.
And that's how you get out of the way of the leader. Excellent. Make it easy, seamless. Don't hold that up.
We lost another driver there, we're down to 9 in this race. DJ Phil's retired from the race, what a shame there for DJ Phil.
No. Twitch.
A bit wide there out of turn 1. Got a bit of grass there, and that would have just maybe served as a bit of a reminder that he's not got this done in this race. He's got to keep it on the track, he's got to keep himself cool. Not make any mistakes. If he does, if he gets any damage on the car, you can be sure that Richie will be there to capitalise on it. Champ at the moment in that window where he will retake the lead once Richie comes in, but he needs to cut out any little mistakes like that. They will cost him this race win as Champ's flashing his lights here at back marker just in front. I think that is CMC. Yeah, it is CMC there just in front of Champ. Again, and a flash of the lights there from Champ, and CMC this time sees him coming and moves well out of the way. So the gap between Richie and Champ, 17 seconds. Last lap there from Richie was a 1:25.4. Jolie from pits from second place. He'll be hoping that he can come out ahead of Chaos. I think he'll be comfortably ahead of Chaos, to be honest with you. Jolie stops in the box. Let's see what his pit crew do here. Does he get the cheap pit stop? Doesn't look like it. He's in the box. Partially did, I think. 3 or 4 seconds. So he got the 1% engine damage glitch, but not the 2%. And off and away Jolie goes. To the end of the pit lane, out onto the track he goes there. So he's a long way ahead of Chaos. He's about 15 seconds clear of him. He's comfortably cleared this man here running in 5th place. He's got a couple of seconds back to Xmart. Xmart will be wanting to get another top 5 here if he can. Get some more This race with 14 drivers, we're down to 9.
Oh no.
They've been dropping like stones here tonight. Lost 5 drivers over the course of this one. Hopefully the guys in this race do finish, as there are points up for grabs here in this championship. So things have just settled down a little bit really over the last few laps. Xmart's trying to close that gap to Chaos, trying to get himself into a place if he can. Champ only 16 seconds behind Richie. Last lap Champ wasn't as quick as he has been, but was still 4 tenths quicker than Richie, a 25.30 on the previous lap from Champ. Richie this time has done a 25.4. What does Champ do on this particular occasion? Up towards the line Champ comes. He does a 24.1, so 1.3 seconds quicker Champ. We know now a pit stop's around 20 seconds, so Champ within 15 seconds of Richie. He'll come out 5 seconds clear of Richie for the closing laps of the race. Richie still yet to make his stop. He needs to make it at some point between now and the end of the race. But when he does, it's up to him.
Okay, so now you're getting to the end. Now people are probably going to want to make their pit stops. But of course, this guy's not going to get blue flags, because this is pole position.
See Nicky here quite close on the back of Fulek right now. And another second between these two. Oh, Fulek deep! Fulek very deep into that first and double left-handers, and Nicky shoots up the inside up into 7th place. Easy done there from Nicky. Fulek getting all ever so out of shape through that corner before, and Nicky did not need a second invitation there. Takes his opportunity with open arms. Xmart still on the back of Chaos Actual right now as they're coming in towards the hairpin. First up, those 2 left-handers that we just saw Fulek making that mistake through. Champ's got ahead of Jeremy Gill up into 2nd as Jeremy pulls into the pits at the end of lap 12. And Xmart's still not able to find a way through ahead of Chaos Actual. Nicky's already pulled out a 3-second gap to Felix. He's getting ahead of him. Oh, we see Chaos Actual losing the car left and the right hand at the end of that straight. And that's giving Xmart P5. Chaos Actual there getting a little bit hot onto the throttle, and around she went. Xmart there up into 5th place, and that's more good points there for Xmart after his absolute disaster of a first lap to this race. JM Grawl comes out of the pits there in 4th place. Xmart though, not too far behind JM Grawl. Could Xmart be eyeing up a 4th place finish here in this race? Maybe Hijoli's a little bit out of the question. He's 10 seconds up the road, but 6 laps. What can Xmart do? What can he bring to the table here in the closing stages of the race? As we can see, CMC's on the back of Fulek here, trying to get himself up into 8th place if he can. Fulek's had a difficult last few laps in recent times. You see JM Grawl
brake bias is going up 1%.
CMC pulls off to the side and allows JM Grawl through. JM Grawl will now be pulling up onto the back of Fulek here as well. Richie's into the pits here. End of lap 13. 5 laps left in this race. Richie's in. Let's see what sort of pit stop he gets. He'll need a miracle to beat Champ, that's for sure. He's off and away. There's Champ. Champ's just coming into the final corner now. Richie isn't even at the end of the pit lane yet, so Champ will retake the lead as we expected.
That was closer than
How
it
far
needed
is
to
Richie
be.
going to be behind him? Richie not too far behind, you know. Closer than I thought it would be. I'll tell you what, if Richie had got a quick pit stop there, he could have ended up ahead of Champ, but Champ reassumes the race lead, and the gap's around 2 or 3 seconds between these two, so Champ's just got to keep it together for these last 5 laps, and he will take the double win here tonight at Zhuhai. It'd be an excellent result here for Champ, as it's been a little bit of a hit and miss race by his standards. Hit and miss night really, because he's obviously had a couple of mistakes in this race. He very nearly lost the first race to Akazov. Got a bit lucky with Akazov's penalty. But for Champ to take the double win tonight on a night where he hasn't been at his best would be an ominous message to the rest of the drivers. As you see, Chaos Actual was disconnected, so we're down to 8 here for the feature race. As another one bites the dust here at Zhuhai. Champ though, 4 laps left in this race, 2.5 seconds is his gap to Richie. JM Cool's got X-Mark bearing down on him here. This is going to go down to the wire for 4th place. Shame that we lost so many drivers from tonight, to be honest with you. We had a lot at the start of the race, but we've lost a lot over the course of it. It's nice to have the field outfit at the start. A bit of carnage on the first lap. Never what you want to see, ideally. But nonetheless, that's racing as Champ still leads by just over 2 seconds here to Richie in towards turn 1. Richie though brought the gap down since the pit stops.
Slow down, that's why.
He seems to be on one here. Champ has a slowdown, he's just saying over Team Radio. That could be why. JR, a big Champ fan, always in the comments here on these LMP2 streams. Said earlier on, Champione. Mentioned Champ as a born winner. LMP Champ, he said. So JR will obviously be hoping that Champ can hold on here over these last 3.5 laps. Richie's going to be pushing all the way to the flag though.
Yeah,
he's not going to give up on this one. X-Mark's still close on the back of JM Cool here.
For me.
Only 3 tenths. Oh, X-Mark gives him a bit of a tap in the rear there as he comes with that left-right through the first sector to finish off the first sector. And thinks better of engaging there. And X-Mark there was so much later on the brakes than JM Cool. Took so much more confidence through that corner into this hairpin right-hander. JM Cool still clinging on by the skin of his teeth. Champ's managed to gap Richie a little bit over the course of this lap. The gap's now up to 2.5 seconds, so Champ's gained half a second on this lap already. And that gap appears to be increasing as we come towards the end of lap 15. So 3 from home here. Champ onto lap 16 of 18. X-Mark's still on the back of JM Cool here, battling over 4th and 5th places. Quite a long way down on his personal best of X-Mark. Seems to be getting held up a little bit here as he's trying to find a way through. JM Cool maybe has a bit of damage, but very wide defensive driver, not allowing any gaps to form. Good driving from JM Cool here, not giving X-Mark any room to work with. But out of the last corner onto the start finish once again. Start there, 16th laps of the race. Champ managed to open up a bit of a gap over this last lap or so. He's now got 4 seconds over Richie, so Champ really on one in the closing stage of this race, trying to cement that position and show that he had this one in the bag. And Jody, what a drive from him tonight in this feature race. Jumped in as a reserve. The sprint race didn't go to plan after a strong qualifying, but then feature race he's just completely righted the wrongs of that sprint race. He's really done an excellent job when you consider that he jumped in tonight as a late stand in reserve. Did a bit of practice before, I would imagine, and a very, very impressive job indeed from this man looking to take his first podium in the LMP2s here at Motive. X-Mark's got ahead of JM Cool up into 4th place, so he's finally made that move stick there. X-Mark up into 4th place. JM Cool must have made a mistake. I just saw him looking up as he came out of that double right-hander there. X-Mark now has the position done, and that is excellent to see there. X-Mark well deserved in this race. Could have been on the podium probably if it hadn't been for the first lap. Maybe he could have challenged Champ and Richie for the win. But nonetheless, a damaged invitation here for X-Mark, and he will get some great points there. Good to see X-Mark up there or thereabouts in this feature race. He's got terribly unlucky at the start. Champ though onto his penultimate lap, lap and a half left to go. He's continuing to put out the gap to Richie, cementing his position in the lead, showing why he is the championship leader and race leader here tonight at Zhuhai. Bijoli's keeping the gap to Champ at around 14-15 seconds, so he's showing that he's got real talent in these LMP2s. Hopefully he'll be racing with us a few more times throughout the course of this season. X-Mark's already capped JM Cool by 3 seconds since getting ahead of him. Champ leading the race by 5 seconds. This is coming into the double left-hander in the middle sector.
Basically, treating the
Oh, you don't want to leave, Jesus Christ.
That's right. That is why. That's why. Almost lost it. We can basically just go full, passive mode. Oh god, this feels like the end of the neighborhood in 24 again. Except bad
So
times
here's the
on...
round of the moment. Champ came into this with a big lead in the championship. Obviously took one win last week along with a second
Andy,
place.
if my
No,
math
not a
is
second
right,
place.
we were tied coming into this race. So, yeah.
He's got a big lead. Champ's got a big lead in the championship now as he's coming out of that right-hand hairpin down this little back straight which leads towards the double left-hander. It's been a very, very strong drive here indeed from Champ. He's been dominating this event despite it not being the best drive from him. He's one of the quickest drivers in these LMPs or the higher downforce cars on Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation platform. And he's just got a couple of corners left to go. Managed to put out the gap when it was needed here to Richie. At times Richie's been matching him, but when Champ's really had to put it out of the bag, he's had that little bit in his locker. And here we go, this flat out left-hander followed by the final right-hander. Lap 18 of 18. Champ will have a solid lead in the championship now as he's coming out of the last corner and up towards the line. The checker flag is out. It flashed the lights there from Champ as he takes the win at Zhuhai. It's 2 from 2 here in China tonight for Champ, following that up with a win last week at Suzuka after getting taken out from the lead in the sprint race last week. He's taken 3 wins in a row now, Champ, and looking to really cement his position in the championship. Richie second, keeping himself in the hunt. Hijoli, what a drive tonight from Hijoli, taking the final podium spot. Congratulations to you, buddy. Really well done considering the late notice. X-Mart in the background and flashed the lights. Good spirits nonetheless despite getting taken out on the first lap and managing to recover to 4th place. A really impressive drive there from X-Mart, I've got to say. JM Brawl crosses the line in 5th place. A flash of lights from him as well. And he is the last driver for the foreseeable future to come across the line on the lead lap. CMC finishes the race in its 7th. A lap down. Fulek is coming out of the last corner here. Here he comes out onto the start finish, and it's going to be an 8th place finish here for Fulek. Kept going and kept pushing, and that's great to see. Thank you, Fulek, for joining us tonight, buddy. Also, shout out to Nicky finishing the race in P6 there. Also a lap down on the race winner Champ. But Champ, your race winner here ahead of Richie and Hijoli. Congratulations to the podium finishers. Big thank you to everybody who came. Even bigger thank you to those who finished the race. Champ, Richie, Hijoli, X-Mart, JM Gruhl, Nicky, CMC and Fulek. Legends, all of you. DJ Phil, Sevas and yeah, those 2 retired. A couple of others retired a long way out and will not get any points. But that is that for the LMP2s here tonight. Thanks to everybody who drove. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching this back. And if you have, drop a like. If you haven't already, tell your friends and family about what you're up to on a Saturday night. Get them to check it out and drop a like if they want to as well. Thanks everyone. We'll see you in the next one.
And so that is, by definition, a perfect weekend for me. Though it might not have felt like it, it's true.
It was a sketchy night, but you did the job.
So statistically, maximum points.
Did you get fastest lap as well?
Yes.
Oh, extra bonus point, cheeky little bonus point. No points for pole, so obviously, yeah, you get the clean sweep. Brilliant stuff. Cheers, boys. Thanks for that. Thanks for coming, everyone. See you next week. Cheers, guys. Well done, champ.
Yep. That was eventful. And not in a good way, but whatever. I mean, perfect, flawless weekend. On that, I mean, that felt like absolute crap. I mean, seriously. I don't even know what to say. Other than, I'm now a C license, so I must have taken a safety point hit during that. At some point, but I'm over 1700 driver rating now. That's pretty good. Pretty good. But yeah, I'm done for today. Next week, we'll be at Monza. Oh, Monza. That's going to be even worse. Because I don't have a good setup for that place. But until then, I have nothing to say, and I am out.